All right, welcome everyone to another episode of the FitFam podcast. As always, this is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary,
And this is Doug, the formulator.
and today we are so excited. One of our favorite people in the whole wide world is with us. We are excited to call him and love to call him a friend, but he's also the smartest man living that I get the opportunity to speak to, and I speak with a lot of people all over the world. And we've been able to tour around the nation the last few years, 5, 6 years, right, Dr. Harris?
It's been about 5 or 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah, been a while. And so I really have some, depth and to be able to speak that. But I'm talking about the great Dr. Harris.
Yeah.
And
Well, thank you very kindly. It's a bit humbling, but thank you.
and we're excited to have you on today. Although we could be talking about a million subjects, the main one is about one of the talks you're going to be giving at the super seminar in September in Las Vegas. And one of the talks is just on a subject that it seems like almost every situation with our athletes, with patients, with the public, whenever there's something happening to where they're just not feeling right and we can't pinpoint it, many times it comes back to this subject. And I'm so excited you're going to be addressing it.
Yeah. So, what we're talking about is forever chemicals. And I would love it if you could explain what a forever chemical is.
Well, I'd be happy to. Now, first off, you talked about doctors, patients, etc., but this also affects animals, plants, everything in the ocean. Every single person ever tested shows it in their body. So this affects the whole world and perhaps even Mars, but not particularly. Okay, so what a forever chemical is, it's really not forever, only about 300 or 400 years. So it's probably going to affect everybody unless we're living longer than that. So, what we learned in chemistry class in high school is these contain covalent bonds, and they always tell us these cannot be broken up at all. So, they call them a forever chemical. So, where these come from, this was a chemical invented back in the 1930s, and we know more about them, things like Teflon pans, a Gore-Tex jacket, firefighting foam. They've been used extensively all over the world, and they travel through the air, they travel through water, they travel in rain, snow, and that's why they are everywhere in the world. And with the and they've been shown to have a lot of health effects. Now, if you've been watching about this, there's more stuff in the news lately as the government is trying to get this out of our water. Um, so we're going to start testing by 2027, and they're supposed to be out by 2030, which will be good, but it won't affect at all what's in the environment and will be there for several hundred years. So this is going to be a concern now until about the year 27, 24 or
Wow.
28, 24. So, and everybody ever tested shows these in their body. So they're pretty bad stuff.
So if it was only from those things, I know a lot of people that aren't around, maybe Teflon or the Gore-Tex or firefighting, but I've read a lot about being in like personal care products, right? Shampoos, dental floss, things like that. Is that true?
Everything else, yes, it is everywhere in so many products, and it's all in the environment, in the air. So even if you don't lose Teflon pans, you still have it in your body. So
What are the
Teflon pans
effects
are
of these?
well, they have been showing these get into our bloodstream, and they cross the blood-brain barrier. So they've been shown to have problems in our emotional well-being. They contribute to things like Alzheimer's, heart disease, inflammation, everything you can think of. It affects so many different things in our health and contributes to so many of these very bad conditions.
Yeah, and
So,
probably specifically hormone issues, correct?
that was the first thing discovered is they hurt our hormones, our reproductive health, and inflammation, and everything else that is affecting chronic conditions. It's a contributor, and if we don't get to that, get them out of our bodies, then we really have no availability of getting rid of these conditions.
Now, were these man-made chemicals or where did they come from?
These are all man-made chemicals invented around 1908, but the first one was then it was branched off and it was called Teflon. So that was the very first one used by 1940s. It was being sold all over the world because people liked the non-stick. Their eggs didn't stick, and easy cleanup. They're starting to be supplanted by ceramics, but they're still around in many pots and pans, and people have them in their homes. But of course, it's not the only source, as they're going to be phased out by about 2030.
Wow.
But there's still many other products that will have them, and everything that's been in the environment is going to be there for several hundred years. So this is affecting everybody in the world.
So because it's going to be in the environment for so long, what can we do to fight against it?
Well, we can move to Antarctica, perhaps, but then we all freeze to death.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there will be several things we can do about them, but there are a few different things we can do. Um, One of them is, of course, try and get them as much out of our life as possible. Not cook on Teflon pans anymore. Not using Teflon coated dental floss, because I know everybody, what we're told, we should floss, but no one seems to like it very much. But you can use a water flosser, or get waxed floss like we used to have that nobody liked. So it's just last time I went to my dentist, they told me, nice to see someone who takes care of their teeth. And I personally use a water flosser.
Okay.
And I have one
Uh,
that is rechargeable, so don't have to deal with the cord.
so
So that is one thing we can do.
okay, take him out of our life as much as possible. And now, when people are looking at products like makeup and things like that, is there specific words on there they need to look for to make sure that these products don't have?
Well, it would be nice. It will be coming after 2027. There'll be warning labels, but nothing on there yet.
Okay.
Because they go by a couple of different names. There's perfluoro and polyfluoro, and so and PFAS, but it's not something that people would recognize. So it'll be a while until they can. So we really have to really concentrate now on doing things to get them out of us, because we don't have any way of breaking them down, but we do have ways to get them removed. But we really, there's a couple of complications with this, but we'll be talking about it more in Super Seminar.
I love that.
So, if we could give um, people one thing to put back into their body to help get rid of them without giving away everything you're going to share at the super seminar, is there one thing they could do? A food, a specific nutrient? I know there's going to be a whole list of things, but what could we give as an example to people watching the podcast today?
Well, one thing we could do is fast for 3 days, because that has been shown to reduce the levels, because you're not using anything that contains them, but you can't hold your breath for 3 days. So
Mhm.
fasting is a very quick way to get some of them out of your body. But what we show is they can get down low, but not completely out of the way, because it's not just in our food, it's also in our air. So
Okay.
it's even fasting is not enough all by itself. But fasting, you should learn a wee bit more about it before you take it on yourself if you've never done anything like it.
Absolutely, and that's one good thing about, the app that we have. People can start with a 24-hour or 48, 72, but then they have the fasting ingredients, especially your glutathione and other things that you have. So if people are interested, definitely, check in to the Healthy Habits Tracker, and that'll help them, guide them along the way. Well, let's talk for a second about the super seminar. This talk specifically is Saturday, September 28th. The super seminar is the 26th through the 29th.
Yeah, and
And
this one is for everyone. So that's so exciting. We're gonna
And
get a
right
lot
now
of
I've got
information now.
it is. I've got right now scheduled 4 talks, and they are all interrelated. So as we talk
Perfect.
about the other things, if you kind of get all 4 things put together, you'll have the best chance of getting these out of your body.
Love it.
that's awesome. And so we really want to encourage everyone. This is the first time that the public's going to actually be able to hear Dr. Harris in this type of a setting. Usually, a super seminar is just for doctors. And this year, we're inviting the patients, the public, and there'll be some talks like this that everyone gets from like Dr. Harris and some of the other speakers. But then also, I believe one of your talks is going to be just for the public and another one just for doctors. So the doctors that are concerned about going deep enough, they're used to Dr. Harris and going into the deep chemistries. They're going to get those talks also. At the same time, the public can be excited that there's going to be talks that's going to be, very basic, that's going to be educational way that they can take the things
Well, let's
from
not
that to
use the
apply.
word basic. Let's use the word understandable.
I like
Because people are smart. It'll be very understandable.
I like that.
and so with the seminar, who else are you excited to hear from yourself that that weekend?
Oh, I'm excited to hear about from you and from Dr. Porter and from Dr. Brimhall and Dr. Ridgway. I just that and also the trainer
Well, Guerrero.
um, for Dr. Fredero or the trainers, because this is all going to be relevant to getting all these toxins out of your body.
That's
So
awesome.
the lineup looks very good. And then also, there's going to be, as far as I know, is that the weekend that you'll be competing, Hillary?
It is.
It is. So I'm interested to see I've never got to see one of these before. So I'm interested to see the competitions and the whole, and the venue also is a beautiful place.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm used to seeing you on stage, but you're definitely not used to seeing me on stage. So
That is right.
That'll be awesome. Well, thanks again so much. I know that you've got a lot going on with your research and everything that you're doing, and to take a few minutes, we just really wanted the public and the doctors to understand how important it is to come be in person at the super seminar to get this information firsthand, but also to get the tools and the systems that they can go home and put in place to fix these issues. And I'm so
And let me
excited that,
also talk a little bit about the other topics I'll be doing.
oh, let's do it.
One of them will be another toxicity problem. We call it microplastics. That is not getting now as much airtime as the chemicals, because the government has kind of learned about them. And then, if you've been around a long time, you've heard Doug talk about exercise a lot. But I'm going to talk about it a little bit differently. I'm going to be talking about exercise to extend your life. So exercise for longevity, and that'll be understandable. And then how do you do it, and how often do you do it? And then Doug, a few days ago, asked me if I would do one on a 1, 2, or 3 day fast. So exact fasting sounds easy. You just don't eat. But no, it's not quite that simple. There's a few more things you have to know about it so you can go into it and come out feeling very good. Because I think, Hillary, you once did a 3 day fast and felt great. And now that another one didn't feel good. So
Yeah,
we're going to talk about why that was
I
and how
love it.
you can do it, how you can do it without having a difficult one like the second time Hillary did it. So we're
Perfect.
going to talk about that and make it easier to do it and feel very good.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited about all of your talks. And like you said, some of the other speakers that we haven't heard from, me and you are used to listening to and enjoy, Dr. Brimhall and Dr. Porter and Dr. Ridgway and them. But it's exciting that some of these, the trainer for Tom Brady, Ben Hardy, the great author, a lot of them are going to be there too. And one thing that
Because last time we did a seminar, Doug gave us a little exercise from one of our speakers, and I filled it out, and I have it with me here in my new location. And I'll be interested to hear Hardy also, because I've looked at it and one of the people that I admire.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think kind of in closing, one of the great things that we love about Dr. Harris is he actually has more knowledge than most of us combined. But when you go to these types of seminars, he's right there in the front taking notes to the other speakers, even though he probably knows more about that subject than they do. But just that commitment to being present and of learning and the opportunity is something that I think everyone should be able to learn from. Just that example. And we love that about you.
Well, thank you again for the accolades, Doug. But when I'm at these seminars, when I'm not on stage, I am available to anyone who wants to ask me questions because I am there for you. When I'm at these seminars, I'm there for the people. I try to learn as much as I can about health. Even though I don't see patients any longer, I read medical literature every day because that can give me more information to give to everybody else. Even though I retired from seeing patients now 3 years ago, um, I just, it is my passion to know about things to make people feel better.
Well, that's great. And it really comes through in everything you do. So again,
Well,
thanks
thank
so
you
much.
kindly.
So everyone, that will have the link below to come to the super seminar, September 26th through 29th.
Yeah, be there so that you can hear all of these talks by Dr. Harris and get all of the information.
Absolutely. And we're making it very affordable for people. There'll be a great expo there. You can go over to the bodybuilding competition if you'd like. But it's $99 for the public. And that's just an amazing price. The last seminar we went to was like 500 or 600. So we're trying to do everything we can to make it affordable to people, make the rooms affordable. And it's going to be at the Rio. So make sure you sign up and register. Dr. Harris, we're so excited to see you. Thanks for taking your time today.
And let me ask you, Doug, will there be anything where people will be able to sit down a little more intimately with people, with some of the speakers?
Oh, great. Thanks. Absolutely. There's a option on there for a VIP package where they're going to have time with like Dr. Harris, in a VIP room. They'll have access to be able to ask more questions, be able to take pictures with the speakers, a special dinner, things like that. And I think that, we're used to seminars of 200 or 300 health professionals, and we have time to be with everyone. There's going to be over 1,000 people at this one. So I really appreciate that question because if you're really interested to be able to have that intimate one-on-one with like Dr. Harris and some of those speakers, definitely look at upgrading to that VIP experience.
So where do people register?
So we'll put the link below, or you can go to optimalhealthsystems.com/seminar.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Okay, so I look forward to seeing both of you and everybody else that's going to be there because I just love to be at these things so I can help more and more people.
Well, thanks so much. And as always, this is Miss Natural Olympia Hillary
This is Doug the Formulator.
and
And
Dr.
I am
Harris.
and I am Dr. Harris. And
Thank
it's the
you.
only time you won't see me in a suit.
That's
I
true.
was going to say something about that. It looks great. You look great.
Well, thank you very kindly. Okay.
Take care.